Okay, so I'm gonna get started now. Welcome to part one of the Level Up Your Life live series, where for the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna be going live every Sunday, and I'll be talking about a topic that's gonna help you to level up your life. And today I'm talking specifically about self love. And what is self love really? Because we, I don't know about you, but most people were raised with an idea that self love means to just be able to say, oh, I love myself, I love how I look, I love this about me, I love that about me, and I'll give myself all the things that I want. But really, self love is so much more than that. Self love is all about holding yourself accountable and loving yourself in the same way that you would love somebody that you claim to be in love with. So, we're gonna go over a few topics. I have a few words here that I've written down, and I'm going to cover each of them and how I feel like they all tie into self love. So here I have self awareness, self discipline, self worth, self sabotage, and self improvement. And as you notice, all of these words start with self at the beginning. And the main reason for that is because when you want to improve yourself or when you want to level up in your life, you're the only person who can do that for you. It all starts with self. Everything starts from within, and that's the missing piece of the puzzle for a lot of people. A lot of people are looking outside of themselves for an answer and for a solution, but really you have to go within yourself to find the solutions that you need. So let me first start off by saying that self-love is treating yourself the same way that you would someone that you're in love with. You ever notice when you're in a relationship, or if you have a family member or a friend, you treat them a certain type of way because you love them. And if you're in love with them and they're your romantic partner, you treat them so special and you do all of these nice things for them. But then sometimes when it comes to you, you don't do those things for yourself. And you have to start loving yourself the same way that you would want somebody to love you and the same way that you love other people. So that looks like showing up for yourself. That looks like caring for yourself. That looks like speaking your own love languages. That looks like meeting your own needs. Not waiting for people to meet your needs, but finding what your needs are and meeting them. So when I say speak in your love languages, I mean in terms of you also have to get to know yourself. Self-awareness is a big part of self-love. So if you've ever heard about the 5 love languages, then you know that they are acts of service, words of affirmation, physical touch, what's the rest of them now? Quality time, and gifts. So you have to find out what is your love language. And I've come to learn that everybody has a little bit of all of the love languages. So it's not one specific love language that you have. You just might have more love for this specific love language than for another one. So I do recommend typing in the 5 love languages, type in like love languages quiz and look for that quiz and actually take the quiz so that you can learn what your love languages are. Not only will this help you to love your own self better, but it will help you to teach other people how to love you as well. So if you find that your love languages is quality time, you want to spend a lot of quality time with yourself. We're focusing on self here for the most part. You want to spend a lot of quality time with yourself. That looks like going on dates with yourself, going to places by yourself, doing little things that you like to do, pampering yourself, cooking for yourself, watching a movie with yourself, anything that makes you feel good, that fills up your cup and makes you feel like, oh, I'm spending time with myself. You want to do that. If your love language is physical touch, then spend a lot of time touching yourself, or even go get yourself a massage, or get yourself a pedicure or a manicure, or massage your scalp, moisturize your skin a lot, and take time out to just touch yourself and give yourself what you need. If your love languages is gifts, then buy yourself lots of gifts. Do what you have to do in order to fill your own cup. Speak your own love languages, meet your own needs, care for yourself, and show up for yourself the same way that you would for somebody else. And showing up for yourself looks like, if you know that you have something to do, actually turning up and doing that thing. That's how you show up for yourself. If you know that you have something to do and instead of doing that thing you choose to go do something else, or you just don't do it at all, your inner child and your subconscious mind is gonna start to process that and think that like, this person isn't here for me. Like, the way how the subconscious mind works, it's almost like there's another person within yourself. And you have to be careful of the message that you're communicating to that person within yourself. Because what will happen is that you will start to feel, if you don't show up for yourself and if you don't do the things that you're supposed to do for yourself in order to feel loved, you can end up feeling empty, you can end up feeling depressed, you can end up feeling stressed, and you don't really know why, but actually it's because you are not showing up for you. It's just like if you're in a relationship with somebody and this person isn't spending time with you, they're not showing up for you, they're not doing the things that you love for them to do, they're not meeting your needs, you're gonna start feeling neglected. And it's the same way that you neglect yourself when you don't show up for you. So that right there is a part of self-love that a lot of people don't talk about. Self-love is not just about being able to say, oh, I'm pretty and I love this about me and I love that about me. Best believe I was once there. When I was younger, that's what I thought that self-love was. And it wasn't until I got older that I realized that self-love is much more than that. Another big part of what self-love is self-awareness. Being able to look at your shadows, being able to look at your dark side, being able to look at what makes you a messed up person, being able to look at the ways that you have hurt other people, being able to look at the ways that you haven't been doing the stuff that you're supposed to be doing, being able to hold yourself accountable, to call yourself out and say, you know, say, I don't really rate, oh yeah, I do that still. I feel say you need to do better here, so, or better there, so, or I feel like you need to do more of this or less of that. Being able to look at where you have been through trauma in your life. Like, what have you been through in your life that has kind of messed you up mentally? And how are you acting that out right now with the people in your life and therefore traumatizing them? What kind of beliefs do you have about yourself that are putting you in a position to experience a life that is less than ideal? So I can say for sure that I grew up with limiting beliefs of believing that I didn't deserve the things that I desired, believing that I didn't really have the right to ask for the things that I wanted, believing that I have to like do the most in order to earn people's love, people's attention, and feeling like I needed validation and approval from others. But what I've come to learn is that when you love yourself, you will learn to validate yourself. You will learn to approve of yourself. So that means you don't need anybody else to tell you that you're pretty, tell you that you're smart, tell you that you're talented, tell you that you're doing a great job, tell you that they're proud of you in order for you to actually feel good. But you can tell those things to yourself. You can feel those things about yourself. You can approve of yourself and say ahead of time, I know that I'm amazing, and whether or not you think I'm amazing doesn't matter, because all that matters is my opinion about me. You can either join me in feeling good about me, or you can go somewhere else. And that's where self-worth comes in as well. But we're gonna discuss that a little bit later, okay? So self-awareness is being able to admit within yourself flaws that you have. And when I say flaws, I don't mean like physical flaws, because we all have physical flaws. And a lot of people will say also that self-love is okay. Like, I don't like, for women, for example, right? Oh, I don't like the size of my breasts, or I don't like the size of my butt, so I'm gonna go do surgery and make it bigger, or I'm gonna go do this thing in order to make myself look better because I love myself. But really, I mean, yeah, you can do things to improve yourself, but do you accept yourself as you are? Do you accept yourself? And do you feel like who you are is good enough. Good enough that you don't have to go to extreme lengths to try and change who you are. You have to think about those things. Like self-acceptance is also a part of self-love. So what if you have like small boobs, if you have a small butt, if you're short, or if you're too tall, or if you're too whatever the case may be? Like, love yourself enough to accept those things about yourself. And if you do feel like there's something you want to change about yourself, then take actions to change it. But don't ever go to extreme lengths that you're going to put yourself at danger just to look different. And make sure that any changes that you're making within yourself, you're making them for you, never for anybody else. Don't ever do anything just to get other people's approval. Don't ever do anything just to get other people to like you or to feel like you look better or whatever in other people's eyes. Everything you do should be for yourself. You should be intrinsically motivated to do what makes you happy, to do what pleases you, and not what pleases other people. Because at the end of the day, there's always going to be somebody who has something to say. There's always going to be somebody who thinks that you're not good enough. There's always going to be somebody prettier than you, handsomer than you, more handsome than you. There's always gonna be somebody that is quote unquote better than you, that you could be more like. But you have to learn to love yourself. Become your own biggest fan. Become a person that you're just so in love with you, and change your standards of beauty, as a matter of fact, too. Because we live in a society nowadays that makes us feel like this is the standard of beauty, when really, if we should reframe, we can decide that actually this is the standard of beauty. So since we decide that this are the standard of beauty, that means that what them people here over here so think is beautiful doesn't matter to us, because we done rule out that out of our mind already and create another category of beauty for ourselves. So then, if we're subscribing to that category of beauty or that standard of beauty, we never have to worry about if we look good enough for somebody else, because we have our own way of judging how great we look. And when you accept yourself, there's nothing that anybody can do to shame you, nothing that anybody can do to tell you that, oh, you're ugly or you're this or you're that. Even if you are ugly or you feel like you're not conventionally attractive in your own mind, you can build a confidence that's just so strong that even though you're not saying I look all that good, you still feel good in yourself. Like, I'm the bomb. I don't care what you think about me. I look good. I may not look good to you, but I look good to me. You have to develop a thick skin in this world. Like, you have to develop a thick skin in today's society and put your opinion above everyone else's. I feel like that's what helped me to love myself the way I love myself now, and what allowed me to stop seeking validation and approval from people. Putting my opinion at the top and believing that nothing that anybody thinks about me is as important as what I think about me. So if I feel good about me, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. And then here's another thing about it too. If you develop a certain level of love for yourself, you're gonna get to a place where it doesn't matter who has what to say about you. You will just always feel great about you, and that should be the aim. That should be the aim. Like, it doesn't matter if somebody tell us say you're ugly or you're this or you're that. You don't care about any of those things, because you have decided within yourself that you feel good about you. But anyway, self-awareness, look at your shadows. So an activity that you can do is take a pen and a paper and write down some of the things about yourself that you may not like that much, or write down some of the things about yourself in terms of your character that other people have brought up to you. For example, if somebody has told you that you are very you're like, what kind of words would I use now? Like, let's say for example somebody tells you that you're defensive, or that you love to argue, or that you are competitive, like in an unhealthy kind of way, or that you're jealous, or that you spend too much, or that you get upset too easily. If somebody has told you these things about yourself, write those things down. Those are your shadow aspects. Those are parts of you that can use some work. And the reason why it's called a shadow aspect is because it's in the dark. It's tucked away so far that it's really like behind you or to the side of you. It's never really in front of you until you make a conscious effort to bring it in front of you. So write down your shadow aspects. Write down the things about you that you don't like so much. And then start to look at what made me this way? What in my childhood or who in my life has made me into who I am today? Or what situation or what experience has made me who I am today? What can I do to change that about myself? And then start to make the changes that you need to make. Of course, the change isn't going to happen overnight. It's stuff that you have to take your time and work on. You can't expect yourself to just change just like that. Because if you are a certain age, it took all of your life to build up those bad habits that you have and those shadow aspects that you have. You're not gonna just get rid of all of them in a 1 week or in a 1 month or even 1 year. Like, you just have to be patient with yourself as well. Self-compassion is another big part of self-love. You have to be compassionate with yourself. So a lot of people feel like self-love is about being hard on yourself and forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do. I mean, yes, that's a part of it as well. But you also have to have grace with yourself. You also have to be compassionate with yourself enough to know that you are human. The same kind of compassion that you'd have with somebody else, the same way that you would be gentle with somebody else, you have to direct that same gentleness to your own self. That's very important for you to do. So another thing about it too is that when you learn to love yourself better, you're able to love other people better as well. When you love yourself more, you teach other people how to love you. If you love yourself so much and you carry yourself with all of this love and people can see it oozing from you, they can't possibly come into your life and treat you any less than how you treat yourself, because then they'll be mad. Like, seriously, if you walk into somebody's house and their house is dirty, you're probably not going to move with any kind of cleanliness in their house, because you see that them keep them own a house dirty. But if you walk into their house and their house looks clean, you're going to probably ask, should I take my shoes off? Or can I put this here? Can I put this there? Because they keep their house so clean. So it's all about self-love. It all starts with you. If you find that you're attracting a lot of people in your life that treat you bad, chances are it's because you don't love yourself enough. Chances are it's because you treat yourself bad too. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Because a lot of times as humans, we like to blame other people for the things that happen in our life, or we like to blame other people for how they treat us. But really and truly, the treatment that we get from people is a reflection of the way that we treat ourselves. So we have to learn to treat ourselves with the love that we want to receive. So moving on, self-discipline. Self-discipline is doing the things that will give you the results that you want in your life. So one thing I really recommend for people to do, if you want to level up in your life, is to set goals for yourself. Set goals for yourself and make a vision plan for how you want to see yourself living within the next 2 to 5 years, or even the next 1 year, or even the next 6 months. What do you want to see in your life for yourself? What actions do you need to take in order to get there? And once you know what those actions are, it's up to you to actually do what you know you're supposed to do. And that's where self-discipline comes into place. So if you know that you want to buy yourself a house within the next year or within the next 5 years, you know that in order to get that done, there are these 10 steps that you have to follow. Every day you have to wake up and make moves towards each of those 10 steps. If every day you just wake up and you're just like, yeah, just another day, you're just not really doing nothing to get towards your goals them in a life, you're gonna get up one day and just realize that, damn, like I never made any progress in the last year because I never had goals. I never took action towards those goals. And now I'm just here looking. I'm here looking and I wish I was there, but I'm here. Why am I here? Because I didn't take action to get to there. If you're at point A and you want to get to point C, you have to take the steps to get there. You're not gonna just jump there or teleport there. You have to actually take action. And I saw this quote in the gym yesterday that said, it's only in the dictionary that success comes before work. And that's so spot on. You have to put in the work before you can get the success. And in order to get the success, you have to be disciplined. You don't get success if you're just a wishy-washy person who just not really have nothing where you want to achieve in your life, and you're not really trying to take action towards the things where you want to achieve in your life. If you make a to-do list and you know that you have to do X, Y, and Z, but you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm gonna feel like do this, I can't bother, and I just want to do something else, or blah blah blah, you're not being disciplined right there, because you know that this is what you have to do. As a matter of fact, you told yourself that this is what you were going to do, and now you're going back on your own commitment that you made to yourself. It's all about commitment, you know. You see, when you make a commitment to yourself, you have to keep that commitment there. Just like what I said earlier in the live. You're not just one person within yourself. You have multiple people within yourself. You have your inner child, you have your subconscious mind, and you have your inner child at different stages. 5-year-old you, 15-year-old you, 20-year-old you, they're all looking at the current you. And if you are not keeping the promises that you made to yourself, which is also making a promise to those people, those versions of yourself, you're losing more and more faith in yourself, and that's what makes you lack confidence. When you lack confidence, it's because you don't believe that you have what it takes in order to do what is necessary to get the results that you need to get. So if you get up one day and you find yourself feeling depressed, chances are it's because you're living in the past, probably because of things that you wish you did or wish you didn't do. And chances are it's because you're not following through on the things that you told yourself that you were going to do. Every time that you break a commitment to yourself, you lose more and more faith for yourself. And somebody just commented and said lack of self-respect. That's so right. Self-respect is another word that has to come up right now. If you don't respect yourself, how are you going to show up and do the things that you need to do for yourself? You see the words coming up again? Showing up for yourself. So it's just like if you start the gym and you pay for your membership, but you hardly go to the gym, what's the point of even paying for the gym membership in the first place? You're wasting your money, and clearly you don't love yourself enough to go take the action that you need to take in order to get the results that you need to get. You already paid for your membership, you might as well go. Even if you don't feel like it. Because here's the thing about it too, you know. You see, when you set out to do something and you tell yourself, say, you're going to do it, and you feel like, oh, you don't really want to do it, when you do it and get over and done with it, you feel so good. You're just like, wow, I did that. And it make you feel proud of yourself. It give you this level of self-confidence and this self-accomplishment kind of vibe where just boosts you up and makes you feel like you want to go do more, like you want to go achieve even more. So that's why it's important to keep your commitments to yourself, set goals for yourself, meet those goals, and have the discipline that is necessary in order to get to those goals. Because what's going to happen is that when you're disciplined and you take action and you get to the goal that you want to get to, you're going to get the results that come with those goals. So if you say, all right, you want to buy a house within the next year, and you do the steps that you need to do in order to get the house, let's say you get the house in less than a year. That makes you feel so good, because you're going to be there thinking, damn, I just did that. And then you're going to be like, all right, what do I want to do next? Because you just shell off this thing a while ago, so now you're ready for just shell on something else. That's how it feels when you're disciplined and you do the things that you're supposed to do to get to the goals that you want to get to. So be disciplined and do the things that you said you were gonna do, even if you don't feel like doing it. Discipline is showing up for yourself even when you don't really feel like showing up. And I also want to say that you have to find things to do that you're passionate about, because if you are not passionate about something that you're doing, it's gonna be that much easier to just be like, oh, I don't feel like doing this. I can't bother. I'm not gonna bother do it. But if you love it and if you're passionate about it, you're that much more likely to actually follow through and do it. And that brings me to my next point, which is about procrastination. Procrastination is a form of self-sabotage. And you see the words again, self-sabotage. Self, it all begins with self. When you set a goal for yourself, or when you tell yourself that you're gonna do something or that you're not gonna do something, simply because you know that doing it is gonna bring you good results or not doing it is going to bring you good results, then, like for example, let's say you want to stop drinking alcohol. You know in your heart that being disciplined and not drinking alcohol is gonna bring you the results that you want. Maybe it's better health, maybe it's better concentration. If you set a goal for yourself that you want to lose 10 pounds, or gain 10 pounds, you know that taking actions to eat enough food or not eat too much food is gonna get you to the goals that you want to get to. But if you don't do those things and you don't get to the goals, you're just gonna be sitting there like, damn, like nothing now work for me. And you know why nothing now work for you? Because you now work for yourself. Yeah, you have to work for yourself. Like, you have to go to work for yourself. Seriously. And when you procrastinate, or when you self-sabotage, is essentially taking actions that are going to hurt you. Taking actions that are going to hurt you is how you sabotage yourself. So a common thing that people do with self-sabotage, you know that you have certain goals to achieve. You know, say you have certain work where you need to do. And you know that when you do that work, you're going to get to a certain goal in your life, or you're going to achieve a certain thing, or you're going to make a certain amount of money, or you're going to get to a certain place in your life. But you know, say you're supposed to do this, but you're not doing it because you're afraid. You're afraid of success. You're afraid of failure. You're afraid that you're not going to be good enough. You're afraid of all of these things. And when you're afraid of all of these things, it causes you to procrastinate. But you want it to be perfect, so you don't even bother doing it. Because you feel like if you try, you're not going to get it perfect, so you don't even bother to try. When you procrastinate, you are sabotaging yourself. And this is a note to myself as well, because I procrastinate with things too. I will take longer with things that I know shouldn't really take me that long, simply because maybe I just feel a little bit lazy, or maybe I feel like I can't bother. But I have to shake myself up and remind myself that, Gabby, like, you can't be saying that you can't bother. You can't be saying that you don't feel like doing this. You need to do what you need to do, because the consequences of not doing it, and not doing it the time when you're supposed to do it and in the way that you're supposed to do it, is far greater than if you just sacrifice and do it right now. Do it right now, the way that you're supposed to do it. Don't even worry about it being perfect. Just do it. Done and imperfect is better than incomplete and incomplete. You have an essay that you need to write, and you don't write that essay. You are better off actually writing that essay and writing foolishness than not writing anything at all. And actually, some people would say the opposite. Like, it's better you just don't write nothing if you're not going to write something that makes sense. But at least you started. And at least when you read over the foolishness, you can say, all right, we can do this differently. And remember, put them words here, right? It's at least you started. It's all about getting started and just taking the action. If you know that doing something is going to bring you a bad result in your life, don't do that thing. Have the discipline to not do that thing. Don't sabotage yourself. It's just like if you are trying to run a race and there's somebody that's in the crowd that doesn't like you, and they try to throw oil on the track so that you will slip and fall. That's what self-sabotaging is, except you're the person you're the person in the crowd, and you're also the person on the track, and you're sabotaging yourself from getting the results that you want. So be aware. Have the self-awareness to realize when you're sabotaging yourself. Have the self-awareness to realize when you're procrastinating, and have the self-discipline to shake yourself up and say, let's go get this done. Let's go do this right now. Me no saying I feel like do it, but let's just go do it. As a matter of fact, let's just do little parts of it for now until we feel like do the whole thing. Doing little parts of something will actually empower you to do more of it rather than to just not do anything at all. I often have pep talks with myself when I realize that I'm slacking off or when I realize that I'm not doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing. I will have pep talks with myself and say like, Gabby, like, seriously, like, why you not do that something there where you say did I go do? You need to go do it right now. Like, what is really holding you back? And this is how I like to talk to myself as well. There are two choices that you can make: to do it or not to do it. What are the consequences of not doing this? What are the benefits of doing this? What's gonna happen if you don't do it? Think about that and ask yourself, do I want this to happen to me? If you know that you have an essay to write and you say, all right, I'm not gonna write that essay right now. Come on, go on party, or I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna go do that. Think about the fact that when you're in class on Monday morning, or when you have to turn in your assignment and you realize you get an F because you never bring in your assignment, how is that gonna make you feel? In comparison to if you just made the sacrifice, did what you were supposed to do, and then even if I just want B or want C you get, at least you get a grade which is not a F. You see what I'm saying? So you have to think about what are the consequences of not doing this thing and what are the benefits of doing this thing. Have these conversations with yourself. Having dialogue with yourself is very important. Them love to talk about talking to yourself make you mad and all these things, but that's such a lie. They tell you that just to mute you. They tell you that just to make you not aware enough. They tell you that just to make you just want to listen to them and everything that they say, or to just not even talk to yourself at all, so that you can become a better version of yourself. Talk to yourself. Talk to yourself, have meetings with yourself, evaluate what you've done good and what you feel like you could do better with. Evaluate situations, like talk to yourself like you're reason with somebody. Should I do this? Should I not do this? Why should I do this? Why not? What are the benefits? What are the consequences? And reason these things out with yourself logically. And sometimes you have to put logics over your emotions. So that means, say, if you wake up one day and know say you need to go to the gym and your body's just like, oh, I don't want to go, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. That's your mind, that's your emotion. But if you use your logic and you say, all right, boom, I paid for my gym membership. I want to work out 3 times every week. I want to get to this goal for my body. I want to gain this many pounds, or I want to lose this many pounds. I want to look this great for this time in my life. So I'm going to go do it. That's putting logic over emotion. And a lot of times what will happen is that when you put your logic over your emotions and you take action, you realize that your emotions just get pushed down to the side. And the more you do that, the more you realize, say, yo, like, I can do anything. I can do anything. Like, I'm unstoppable. And when you start to look at yourself as being unstoppable, you will start to embody that. But if you look at yourself instead as, oh yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm probably not gonna do that because I never yet do not what I say I'm gonna do. That's how you're gonna start looking at yourself. Like somebody who doesn't do anything that you say you're gonna do. It's just like if you have somebody in your life and them always tell you, say, oh, you know, so I'm gonna do that something there for you, or I'm gonna buy that for you, or I'm gonna carry you go there. So, and they never do what they say they're gonna do. Little by little, you get into a state where you just don't trust what this person says anymore. You don't believe anything that they say anymore. Anytime them say something to you, it's like it's just go from one ears to the next, because it's just crap as far as you're concerned. You have to think the same way about yourself. Treat yourself like you would want somebody to treat you. Love yourself the same way that you want somebody to love you. These are all facets of self-love. So you see, self-love is so much more than just, oh, I love me. I love how I look. I love this about me. I love that about me. You can love things about yourself and still don't love yourself deep down at your core. So 2 more points I want to touch on about self-love. This one now is self-worth. Self-worth is knowing your value. Self-worth is knowing who you are. Self-worth is accepting nothing but the best from yourself and from the people in your life. Self-love is about setting boundaries with people. So knowing your values means what's important to you, what matters to you, What makes you feel good? What makes you feel happy? And knowing yourself, knowing who you are, you need to ask yourself this question: who am I? That's why it's important to spend time with yourself. Spend time to get to know yourself. Get to observe what makes you feel good, what makes you feel bad, what makes you feel your best, what makes you feel your worst, what raises your vibration, what lowers your vibration. Pay attention to yourself with these things. Have the self-awareness to know that, okay, whenever I go to this specific spot in the country, I feel down. Whenever I hang around this specific person, I feel really good. Or whenever I drink this specific drink or eat this specific food, I get a belly ache, so I'll never eat that again. Or I'll never go here again, or I'll never hang out with this person again, or I'll never, whatever it is. You have to know yourself. In order to love yourself, you have to know yourself. Just like how in order to love somebody, you have to know them. Because you have to know what makes them feel loved, like what makes you feel loved. Like I said already, take the love languages quiz for yourself. You don't even need to take this just for somebody. And of course, when you know what your love languages are and when you know who you are, you can help other people to know who you are as well. It's very hard to love somebody who don't love themselves. It's very hard to really say, all right, you go like understand somebody who don't really understand themselves, or know somebody who don't really know themselves. Because at their core, they're kind of, what do I call it now? At their core, they're still uncertain about who they are. So take the time out to get to know who you are. If you have a tendency to jump from relationship to relationship, cut that out. Spend some time by yourself to get to know yourself. You will build up the most self-love when you are single. That's when you build up the most self-love. Worse, if you end up living by yourself, that's when you develop the most self-love, because you develop this sense of self-reliance that just makes you feel like, wow, like I know what makes me tick, I know what I don't like, I know what I do like, I know how to make myself happy, I know how to rely on myself. And that's not to say that you're going to be hyper independent and not let anybody into your life, but it just means that you don't have to be dependent on people for your happiness and your peace of mind. Because people can change and nobody's always gonna be there for you. At one point or another, somebody are gonna do something else and them not can do for you what you want them to do for you. So if you're able to do those things for yourself, then you don't have to put that much pressure on another person to do those things for you. You see me? So you have to get to know who you are and spend time with yourself. Go out on dates with yourself. Don't be afraid of doing things by yourself. Like I do a lot of things by myself. And I go a lot of places by myself. Things that a lot of people would not do. I love seeing when people go out on dates by themselves, you know, go to a restaurant by yourself. I honestly wouldn't go to a restaurant by myself. That's just me though. But I would go to the beach by myself. Or I would go get ice cream by myself. Or go do something nice by myself, but just not going to the restaurant because that just feels so extra. But to each his own though. But I do encourage people to always be with yourself, spend time with you, and accept nothing but the best. So if somebody comes into your life and they're not treating you with the kind of love and respect that you want, don't hesitate to cut them off. And that's why it's important to be able to spend time by yourself as well. Because when you're able to spend time by yourself, you're not going to be desperate to have people in your life. You're not going to be desperate to accept foolishness from people. If people come into your life and they're treating you like the scum of the earth, you're not afraid to walk away because you're not afraid to be alone. You're not afraid to be single. You can't be afraid to be single, because if you're afraid to be single, you will accept less than what you deserve. You will accept some bottom of the barrel treatment. You will accept things that just you don't deserve, and you'll put yourself in situations that you don't deserve to be in. That's gonna make you feel worse and therefore lower your self-esteem and your confidence more. You don't need that. So accept nothing but the best from yourself and from others. When you accept nothing but the best from yourself, you will accept nothing but the best from others as well. And learn how to set boundaries. That's a big part of loving yourself. Be able to separate yourself from people. Be able to know that, all right, this is you, this is me. I don't have to tolerate your bullshit, or I don't have to deal with anything that you're doing that I don't want to deal with. If you can't live by these boundaries that I have set, or if you can't talk to me this way, if you can't respect me this way, if you can't treat me this way, I will not have you in my life, or I will distance myself from you. That's what it comes down to. Self-respect, setting boundaries for yourself, and having self-worth. Knowing who you are, valuing who you are. It's just like putting a price tag on yourself, right? If you decide that your price tag is high, that means that anybody will come with anything less than what your price tag is worth, they don't even get to come close. And when I say price tag, I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about things like how people treat you, how people talk to you, how people make you feel. If this is your price tag up here and somebody's operating at this level, they cannot even come into your life. They have to raise up to here. Have standards. These are your standards, and somebody live at these standards, this person cannot resonate with you. They will fade away. And when you love yourself boldly and you make your boundaries and your self-respect and your self-worth obvious, people will notice those little things too. Like, people are going to notice that, yo, that person I love themselves, you know, or this person is really like high standards. Like, boy, I can't really mess with that. I need to go somewhere else and probably go deal with somebody else that's going to tolerate my crap. That's literally how it is. Like, people will literally fade away. It's just like frequency, right? You and somebody, though they're on the same frequency, you're not going to drift away from each other. If you dep on a high frequency and them dep on a low frequency, them can't even come up to you. Them can't even come close to you because you're dep on a different level. In a way, it's like you have a repellent, an intrinsic repellent, where just run them. Make them can't even come close to you. Because you know yourself. You have self-worth. You know what your value is. So self-worth is a big part of self-love. There are lots of people out there who say, oh, I love myself, I love this about me, I love that about me, but then they might take some treatment where just no make no sense. You can't love yourself and not take bad treatment from people. You have to know when to walk away from people. That's so important. And then the final thing now is self-improvement. Doing things to be better. Doing things to better yourself. Self-improvement is literally what it says. Doing things to improve yourself. Things like reading books, taking care of your body, eating healthy food, surrounding yourself with good people, investing in your education, investing in your mindset, meditating, doing yoga, or playing a sport, or doing an extracurricular activity. Whatever it is that you need to do in order to improve yourself and to level up, you have to do those things. If you're on this live right now, I have to congratulate you because you are taking the step to improving yourself. You are taking a step towards being a better version of yourself and loving yourself more. So congratulations. Congratulations for taking that step. And my hope is that you continue to take that step even after you come off of this live. Find books that you like that will help you to be a better version of yourself and read them. Find people to hang out with that make you feel great, that reflect the version of you that you want to become. Surround yourself with good people. Don't spend time around low life people. Don't spend time around people who cheat, steal, lie, who are dishonest. I mean, that's the same thing. Don't spend time around people who just workless and no one nothing out of life. Like, don't spend time around them people there because they are going to make you become the same. Or they're going to make you feel comfortable and complacent. Like, yeah, I don't need to go hard because, you know, everybody around me is just chilling. But when you hang out around some go-getters and some people who know what them want, and some people who are taught about how to level up in a life, people who want success in them life, people who are actually making moves towards that, people who respect themselves, people who know their worth, when you spend time around those people, they will motivate and inspire you to become better. they will motivate you and inspire you to walk into that version of yourself as well. So surround yourself with good people, because they say that you become like the people who you hang out with the most. Read books, and if you don't like reading books, listen to audiobooks. Whether on YouTube or Audible or one of those apps, listen to educational podcasts, watch motivational YouTube videos, and talk with people who you look up to. Talk to mentors and have like role models, and watch their autobiographies and or their biographies. And if there's something you want to learn, make the effort to learn about that thing. If you want to learn a new skill, take a class on that skill. If you want to learn how to speak better, take a class on how to speak better. You can find everything on YouTube. When I wanted to build my confidence and learn how to be a better conversationalist and learn how to like just level up and have more charisma, I literally watched, like I binge watched a channel called Charisma on Command on YouTube. Just type that into YouTube, Charisma on Command. That will literally teach you how to talk to people better, how to make jokes, how to like be humorous, how to be confident, how to not be awkward, how to trust me. Like anything you want to find on YouTube, you can find it. And when you take the time out to listen to that type of content, you will notice that in your life, you just start to act in accordance with the things that you're reading and things that you're listening to. If you want to heal from childhood trauma, type in childhood trauma coach on YouTube. Type in how to heal my inner child. Anything you want to know at all, type that into YouTube and you will get the information that you need. I promise you. The world is literally like, what would I say now? Like the internet is at your fingertips. You can find anything that you want to find on the internet in order to become a better version of yourself. I promise you. I'm gonna read some of these comments right now. So I'm also welcoming questions. If anybody has questions, I am open to receiving those questions within the next couple of minutes. So thanks to all the people who are engaging right now. Thanks to Tamizel, thanks to Pepe, thanks to Brenda. Pepe says, I'm just so inspired by you and in love with your energy, and don't know you personally, but definitely continue being amazing wife like you once in my life. I'm younger than you, but your mindset, thought process is really something similar. I admire that. Really appreciate that. Thanks. Yes, so give thanks for the positive energy. I really appreciate the support. I appreciate your interaction. I appreciate you for all the positive words that you're saying. And I'm glad that you feel inspired by the content that I create. I'm glad that you feel inspired by this live chat that we're having right now, because my aim, I feel like my real goal on this earth is actually to inspire people. I always say that, like, my purpose is to inspire people. The life that I have lived, I feel like I lived it just so that I could inspire people to be the best version of themselves. Because I remember when I used to be at a point in my life where I needed that. So I'm happy that I'm able to share the things that I'm sharing right now. So Brenda says, thank you so much for taking your time to have this live. It was a great reminder that it's a continual effort to love oneself. That is so true. And I'm really grateful that you are here. Thanks for sharing that sentiment. And you can always come back and watch this live at any point in time. Whenever you feel like you want a reminder, you can come back and watch it, because it will always be here. And the next live that I do next week, Sunday, is going to be, I mean, I don't know what the topic is going to be just yet, but it's going to be something that has to do with leveling up your life. So I'm going to do a poll on my Instagram story, most likely, about what topic exactly you want me to talk about, but it's still going to be in the realms of leveling up your life. And if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, if you have anything you want me to talk about, feel free to watch my story and leave that in the question bar that I'm going to post at some point throughout this week. And also feel free to leave it in the comments as well. If you like this video, click like and click share so that your friends can watch it too, and your family. Send this to somebody that you know really needs it. And if you aren't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you in the next live. Thank you so much for being here. Heart of love.